Mówić? Welcome to the Big Data Analysis webinar. Joining me is Dr. Piotr Żegadło, who is one of the leaders of the program. Well, Piotr, what do you think? What are the three most important aspects for our students about the program?
Okay, many things to choose from, I guess, but the three most important, I'd say, are, the resources that the students have at their disposal, starting from computer labs, the new Bloomberg lab, as well as lecturers as their resources, who are both academics but also have practitioners' experience, often international experience as well. So this is crucial for a program done in English. Number two, I'd say, again, the practitioners like to go forward to practitioners. So what we teach does not only result in grades, but also may result in certificates issued by our partners, which are industry recognized certifications. And the third point, exactly what I said, partners, business projects. This is what we do. So again, trying to, from the start, trying to match students with companies that seek people of these profiles and trying to teach them how real business projects are done.
Very nice. Well, actually, if it goes for this program, we have specific dates for admission. So we had one batch in May. A couple of days ago, we had the batch in July, and we have the last batch. So this is your last chance to apply for this program. On the 20th of September is the deadline to submit your documents for the last test of this year. And it's actually a very special date because it's also the last chance for you to get into the program with the co-financed prize.
Okay, yeah. So one of the things that we have managed to achieve in this program from the start, and its genesis really, is that it is co-financed by the EU.
Well, actually, there is a quite interesting story if it goes for how we got the co-financing. Okay, firstly, what is the co-financing exactly? It means that if you choose this program, you'll get to study for the full 2 years of the Big Data Analysis program for just a quarter of the regular tuition fee. So if it goes in, for example, Polish zloty, the normal programs are at 11,250 Polish zloty, but the Big Data Analysis program is 2,900 zloty. And how it all happened? Well, actually, it happened with an idea. The founder of the program, Professor Aneta Hryckiewicz, wanted to create a program where right from the beginning the students would have professional and practical exposure. So she created the context of the program, the curriculum of the program, so that from the first semester the students have professional business projects with one of our 5 partner companies, or for example also projects from the university. And if it goes, the project was submitted to for a grant contest, and it won also. So it also means that this program has been recognized by the European Union and co-financed from European Union social funds. Well, I was talking about the partners of the program. Well, we have 5 of them, right?
Okay, yeah. So formally, we have managed to get in touch with certain institutions whose names most of our listeners will probably know. So,
well, I would say top of the top if it goes for the world of finance.
Okay, yeah. So starting from the names you know for sure is Goldman Sachs, Microsoft. We have also MicroStrategy, and Accenture, and Bank PKO.
Bank PKO. And if it goes for what exactly is it? What do the partners do? Because I mentioned already that starting from the first semester they are having projects with our students, but how does the process look like?
Okay.
How do the students exactly get chosen by the partners?
So in practice this looks like that. In the first semester we had something we called a matchmaking day, which was essentially a kind of a job fair, but it was available only to the students of the program. And how it was organized is that our partners had their presentations, and they have shown what the companies do, what kind of people they look for, what kind of people they require, and they also presented a few business projects they would like to run together with our students. And then there was time for the students to talk to the companies, for the companies to ask questions, and for the students to ask questions. CVs and emails were exchanged, and all led in the end to a start of cooperation between these partners and our students.
Mm-hmm. And if it goes for how many projects like these do the students have during their course of studies? Because I don't think that it's only one project in the first semester, right?
Sure. So it really depends on the cooperation. However, the idea is that the business projects are held from beginning to the end of the studies. Mm-hmm. So if we start with a project that lasts just a semester, then next semester the student is free to choose another one, right?
Mm-hmm. But with different partners, or they need to stick to the same partner?
No, they don't need to stick to the same partners. Mm-hmm. We see from experience that the students tend to stay with the companies they have chosen for. However, this is not a rule, and not everyone wants that. Some people will want to build a deep relationship with people they got to know and learn as much as they can from the people they met. Mm-hmm. And some students rather prefer to have a broad experience and different different financial shades of business in different companies.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it goes for the future of our students, because I know you and I know that what you are wondering, okay, but what can I get after the big data analysis program? So if they are having projects with companies like Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, MicroStrategy, Accenture, or Bank Bacao, is there a chance that they might get also employment?
Okay, yeah, so this is obviously a very individual thing. And what we really try to do, obviously we cannot force anyone, but we do encourage the students during the studies, especially the first year, to stay focused on the curriculum, okay? Because this is the time that won't ever repeat in their lives, right? This is the time they have to learn new skills, and people are there to answer the questions. When they start working full-time, this kind of learning time, education time, is a luxury. So that's what we encourage. But what we see is that it is a very natural process. Is when the student builds a relationship with a company, and they already know what he or she is capable of, what's her work or his work ethic, and how it all works. Okay, so the companies obviously during the recruitment process will take that into account, because thinking from the company's perspective, it saves them a lot of effort, and this effort can be translated into financials as well, right? If they know the candidate they will be talking to is a reliable person.
So you said that the students should focus on their curriculum of studies during the first semester as well, right?
Yeah.
And what exactly does that encompass? What will our students learn as part of the big data analysis program? Because first thing that you need to know is that we as an institution, Kozminski University, we put a high emphasis on the practical approach, so workshops, computer labs, and so on. So what will they exactly gain from their curriculum and their courses?
Okay, maybe to do a background for this question. So we have different student profiles coming here and to study with us the big data course, because we have people who have strong technical background, we have people from a financial background, and we have people from different paths. So they might be physicists, or maybe they might be management people or marketing people. So this is a very challenging process to match those people, to make them work together,
defined how to put them together into a curriculum which is common for all of them. So the first semester is really a place where they start getting into, I would say, three main disciplines of knowledge we try to give them. So one is obviously the technical part, which is often accentuated strongly when we talk about big data or data science in general, right? The second part, which is important for Kozminski University, is finance. So this is big data analysis, but in finance. And this is also something which differentiates us from many other programs around, is that we do apply this knowledge to finance. The third branch of the program, I would say, is all that is needed to make it work. So business project knowledge, management knowledge, general financial things, but not pure finance. Okay? So all those things that make you have a broader perspective, which is crucial because technical abilities are not enough in today's world.
Well, if you would name just some examples of specific courses that they will have, for example, what are the major courses, elective courses, or general courses?
Okay, yeah, so one thing to mention now, elective courses. This is also important. From the second semester on, we start having, from the third semester on, so second year, we start having elective courses, which again accommodates the needs of the students. So we want to play to the strengths and accept that some people are really strong technically, some people are more into finance or business intelligence, and we want to give them opportunities to grow within these disciplines and be a data scientist in the style they want and they are suitable for. Okay, so in terms of specific courses we have, from the technical side, we start with Excel and do some VBA. We teach students how to use databases like Bloomberg and Reuters.
Bloomberg.
We'll get back to that, yeah. One more thing is that we also, data science cannot be done without programming. But we have also students who have no programming background. And we start teaching them programming through a bit of Excel VBA, but we also do R, and R is our weapon of choice, let's say, in the first year especially, where we try to make it visible throughout the courses. So it's not like you have one course which teaches you R, but if you have econometrics, you will do econometrics in R. If you have financial markets and behavioral theory of finance, you will also do exercises and practical analysis in R. Okay, so it needs to be integrated. We also start with SQL, databases, another branch of knowledge which is crucial for the data. So this is the underpinnings of a data analyst as we see it.
And also Python, right?
Yeah, so Python starts a bit later because we think that R is probably a bit more accessible for people with no IT background before. And then we get into Python because what we see more and more is that machine learning, data science these days is more and more associated with Python.
Yeah, but that's actually logical. You start with the first layer and then just go down deeper, and when it gets more complicated.
Exactly. And we also, like I said, we let students specialize. Because what we see is that data science these days is such a broad body of knowledge, is that no one can and even no one needs to be equally well versed in all the facets.
So let me ask you one question, because obviously there, like you already said, there are students without a background in finance on this program.
Okay.
So how do you manage, as the leaders of the program, for them to catch up?
Okay. Yeah, so obviously when we start the courses, we allow for a time that people have to catch up with the others. So like you said, some people will be trying to gather quickly their financial knowledge, others will have to brush up the programming skills and things like that, right? But this is where I think that the broadness of people's profiles also comes into play. because we also see them working together in group projects a lot, and many of the business projects are also group projects, and then they can learn from each other and they can teach each other the skills, and this is where we think that the fun is really.
Well, talking about the projects as well, because actually I've been listening about some of the projects that our students are making, and there's one in particular that caught my eye.
Okay.
It's actually a very interesting story, because 1 year ago, the students, they were looking for their master's program. Like you are right now, and they didn't have any clue yet about programming or whatsoever, and they signed up for the big data analysis program. They took part in the matchmaking day and got matched with Microsoft, actually. And what they made in 1 year is remarkable, because actually they managed to create a chatbot together with Microsoft that is able to learn, on the basis of machine learning, to learn on what the client is asking. With
So what's the chatbot? What is a chatbot?
Excuse me?
What is a chatbot?
A chatbot?
Yeah, how does it work?
How does it work? Well, exactly. Firstly, the students, they implemented a database of questions and answers into using Azure technology from Microsoft, and later on they made the basic programming for the chatbot, for it to learn with every question how to answer them more effectively. To make it seem that the chat that it's not a machine, but actually maybe a human being. Well, it's still in the beginning phases, but already you can see very promising results.
Okay, so this is one of the branches of data science that we see more and more people interested in, which is natural language processing. And we also do text mining. We also do typical machine learning methods in financial markets, for example. So the scope of the projects is broad, and as René said, people with different backgrounds find their niches, let's say.
But that's not the only thing we got from Microsoft, right?
Yeah, so Microsoft is our partner, as we said. So how does this partnership work? So first of all, we have those projects, and within those projects, students are assigned mentors, both from our side, from university, but also from the Microsoft side. So they have access to people who have been working in this field for some time, have considerable experience, and they are good people to meet and good people to learn from. But two is we have also people from Microsoft coming to the courses and showing our students some things which have been done in Microsoft. For example, Azure also is a part of that. And thinking of Azure and Microsoft, we have the students also will have the opportunity in their second year of studies to take the exam for the Microsoft DP100 certificate, which is a data science certificate involving Azure. So as I said, we want the students not only to have a grade sheet when they finish their studies, but when they finish their studies, they have also a portfolio of business projects done with reputable partners they can show to anyone in the market and impress them. And two, they have a chance to show professional certificates. So the other one we have also comes from the data visualization course we do along with our partner MicroStrategy, and they offered us to make it possible for the students to take the MicroStrategy Certified Specialist Analyst certificate after the course.
And if it goes for the courses or the coordinators from the university side, who are the lecturers actually?
Okay, so what we see in practice is that we have lecturers that are obviously academics at the moment, but often have practical business experience. Either still do business through consulting projects or through Kozminski Business Hub, but also they have international experience from Germany, from United Kingdom, from Denmark. So there is a from Scotland now as well. So we have a broad and diverse, I would say, set of lectures, and this is also an advantage of the program, because what we see as well is that data science is not naturally grounded in the academic world so well yet, at least. Okay, so only recently, for example, we can see that a journal of machine learning in finance is now will have its first issue soon.
Really?
Yeah. So
when would that be?
yeah, so I think the call for papers of the first issue ends in September. So
Are you submitting something?
Can't say.
I can't say, it's a secret.
Okay. Yeah, it's a secret.
Okay.
Okay, but to be very serious, so data science is still fighting its way into academia strongly. Okay, and I think that we are still not seeing the full potential in the academic world. So that's why, especially now at the moment, we need practitioners to lecture our students, because obviously some of our students might choose an academic career, and they are welcome and they can do it here at Kozminski University, which is also worth stressing. But most of them will work for corporate entities, will work in business, and that's what we want to teach them.
So the practical aspect, and as you already said, big data is starting to become a huge thing, and that means what? That the demand for specialists in big data, good analysts to manage big volumes of data, will be needed in various industries.
Exactly.
And what are for example, some of the industries that they can work after completing the studies?
Okay. It is really, I could enumerate any number. So obviously, finance itself is an important part. So for example, if we talk about about the banking sector, so we can have people working, for example, in the anti-money laundering divisions, where they try to find, for example, patterns in credit card activity to flag fraudulent transactions. We might have them working on customers' bank account data and their operations to see what the client is spending their money on, build their profile, and offer them better products. We can have any kind of industry where we have where customer loyalty is important, where, for example, telecommunications business is a key example, and then we try to research what are the patterns and what are the common elements of people who change their operator, which is called churn in the language. And we then might try to prevent that by changing the policy regarding sales, customer service. We have the whole predictive part of it. So any kind of a business where we have sales that we need to predict and analyze. Again, machine learning. But also, what I would like to maybe point out now is that, to me, data science is not only what we usually call now machine learning, but also, and we also teach that, we do not forget about those more classical parametric techniques. So we teach econometrics, we teach regression, not in a simplistic way, but we teach regression that can be used actually in business. Okay, and it also has its merits. It also has its place. So we don't want to show and say that everything that came before computers became so powerful is useless anymore. No, it's not. And it also builds a certain mindset that is absolutely crucial for the students, because the tools will change, but the way of thinking, the way of their analytical mind works, is a thing that will stay relevant. And this is their weapon in the job market as well.
If it goes for the questions in the comments, we will answer them at the end of the webinar. If you are just joining us, feel free to ask all of your questions in the chat on your right side. Well, there is also one specific thing that I wanted to ask you, and that's what kind of job titles might they expect?
Okay. So data scientist actually becomes a more and more widespread title used by companies. Business analyst is another one. So we see also that a large part of data science is actually business intelligence. It used to be called business intelligence. We had people called business analysts, but we see that these jobs evolve into more and more technical roles now, because we have the tools and the companies do amass a lot of information that can be used. So any people work in business intelligence software to a high standard of data visualization and reporting also. So again, data scientist, data analyst, but business analyst. Also, we have the sales departments and marketing departments, like I said, analyzing both the way that sales work and how can we improve the sales, but also marketing strategies. So trying to target the advertisements properly and try to optimize expenditure and advertisements.
So they can be people like business analysts,
Yeah.
Business analytical consultants, big data analytics managers,
Okay. Yeah.
and so on. Yes, okay.
Yeah. Another place where our graduates might find their place is obviously the top consulting companies, which need people with an analytical mindset and technical mindset, versed in business projects that they do, that have an idea about finance as well.
Okay. Well, last thing is, of course, admissions.
Okay.
Because part of the admission process, and here I remind you once again, the last deadline for this program is the 20th of September for submission of the documents, and on the 23rd you will have the online test.
And this is the only chance for the price, which is
Yes, and the co-financing ends with this last batch.
Yeah.
I would say. And actually, the online test.
Yeah.
Piotr, what can they expect from the online
Okay,
test?
so obviously a kind of test for this course, for this program, is needed and is necessary, because as you know very well, many people are interested in data science these days. Many people ask about the program. And the program is suited for people with very, very different backgrounds, but they all have to have at least one thing in common. And this thing is analytical thinking, analytical mindset. They need to like numbers. They need to like to work with logic of numbers. And this is what the test is about. So it doesn't test your knowledge. It doesn't test your mathematical skills.
A little bit.
A bit, yeah,
A
but
little
it's not.
bit.
But it's not like you need to perform stochastic calculus or things like that, or do integrals. It's simple mathematics together with quick operations on logic of numbers. So this is a test which could be called the test of analytical skills.
And how could
Or
they?
numerical
How would you give advice for candidates? How can they prepare for the test?
Okay, so I think the easiest thing to do is just Google analytical tests,
GMAT.
numerical
The GMAT part, the analytical part of the GMAT
numerical
test.
tests. There are also companies that deliver this kind of tests for recruitment programs in, for example, the big four companies. So have a look at these tests. Have a look at some trials, tests, or mock exams, things like that, and try to do it as quickly as possible, because the biggest enemy during this test is time, I would say. So
Yes.
definitely working under pressure is important. So working quickly and not making errors in simple operations is what gets you recruited.
Okay, so let's sum it up. If it goes for the big data analysis program, the key features of the program. So we have projects, business projects with partners, with Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, MicroStrategy, Accenture, or Bank BKOSA. The program is co-financed from European Union social funds, so you would only pay a quarter of what you would normally pay for the program. And once again, This is the last chance for you to get into the program with that price until 20th of December. The other thing, the possibilities to gain not one but two Microsoft certificates.
Microsoft and MicroStrategy.
One for Microsoft and one for MicroStrategy. The other thing is, we have an internationally experienced staff that is going to teach you the practical approach of data analysis. Do you have anything to add?
I guess I would just really like to say that if you like that kind of thing, if you enjoy numbers, just give it a try. Just give it a try, because it is investment in yourself in the end.
Okay, so now if it goes for the questions, we have one question from Varun Resh. I have a question regarding the career prospects in accounting. Does the program benefit in that regard?
Okay, so one thing which might be obvious for you, but maybe I should stress that, is that you don't have to work in data science being a graduate from the big data analysis program. So big data analysis program might be a way of getting a finance degree with a strong technical aspect to it.
And this is actually also worth mentioning, that the big data analysis is a major on the Master in Finance and Accounting.
Exactly.
Yes, so the quality is at least the same, I would say. And the program is 17th in the world, the Master in Finance and Accounting. So do the lecturers from that program also teach on this program?
Yes, so we have lectures from big data crossing over to the typical masters in finance and vice versa.
And vice versa.
Yeah. What I would like to say, Arun, maybe is that the question is to you, okay? Is accounting what you really want to do? If you are interested in data science, maybe you want to use your accounting skills and combine them with data science skills to get further on, okay? So also, what we see is that the business analysts and the financial analysts will use accounting skills also to get to some kind of hidden nuggets of knowledge which can be found in the financial statements.
Okay, we have a question from Ms. Renata Rosik. Are you running this program only in the class or online as well for full-time working people? Greetings.
Okay, so at the moment we only can offer the full-time program. Why? Because also this structure is necessary because of the EU cofinancing arrangement.
However, I can say that there is a possibility of there to becoming a part-time program next year. However, it's not a certainty. So what I would do if I were you, Renata, please be in touch with our admission offices or look at our websites and see if we announced a part-time program for big data analysis.
We are working on it, I would say, because what we see is that obviously many people who are working full-time in companies related to data would like to, expand the knowledge, learning from people who are knowledgeable in the business. So definitely this is something that stays in our mind. Stay in touch. Thanks.
Okay, we will wait for some questions for like 20-30 seconds, and if not, then we will going to end the webinar. Of course, if you have any questions later on, you can comment under this video, and our marketing team or the big data team will answer them as soon as possible. Okay, well then, Renata, we hope to see you next year at Kozminski University then. Okay, so that would be it if it goes for the big data analysis webinar. And like I already said, if you have any questions, you can ask them also in the comment section below. Firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Piotr Zagadło for joining us, and we hope to see you soon at Kozminski University.
Thank you, Random, for hosting this thing.